When you create a new document in Illustrator, there are only a few things you really need to worry about. Normally, I'll ignore the things I've recently done, and I'll ignore the Save Presets and go to one of these types of documents along the top. If you're working with something that's going to be printed, then go to Print. You get to choose the unit you want to work with, and I live in the metric system, so I would use probably millimeters, and I would go for one of my default sizes like A4. Now, as you see, the preset has chosen the units, so by all means choose the paper size you want and then the units that you would like to work with after that. If I was going for web, then I'll get sizes in pixels, and I have a few presets. I can reveal more presets as well, but I'll see that I'm also going to be working in RGB mode. And that's a key thing that it's probably a good idea to get right first. With color, for print, you'll be working with CMYK, and with color for web or mobile or film and video, you'll be working with RGB. So most of the time, I would go for print and the CMYK option. You can open out the advanced options and actually manually override this if you wish. Now, the actual size of the page, I'm not really concerned with. I'll hit Create and show you why. While I've got a canvas the exact size I asked for, I can change my units again over here in the Properties panel, and I can go to this tool here, the Artboard Tool, and then I can completely redefine the width and the height of the document. I can also go here to choose from a large list of presets. Now, artboards are great. You can make additional artboards at any time. They can all be any size, and you can just make one artboard bigger when you run out of space, or if you've got some art on a page, let's say we've made this pink and we've removed the stroke, and I want to make the artboard exactly that size, well, I just go to the Artboard tool and I say Fit to Selected Art, and then it's exactly the right size for my artwork. So I'm not really too concerned about how big artboards are in Illustrator. You can always make them bigger, and you can always make them exactly the size they need to be. Now, when you save a document, typically you'll want to just save, or save as, the same thing when you're saving for the first time. And I'm going to just call this document Example. And for the file format for saving, really AI or PDF are both fine. Illustrator documents, by default, when I hit save, are actually PDF compatible, meaning that if you give this Illustrator file to someone who doesn't have Illustrator, they just need to rename it .pdf, and they can open it in any PDF viewer. You'll obviously get more control in Illustrator or a vector graphics program. Now, we'll look in a much later course at the fancier export options, but generally you would save or save as, and an Illustrator file or a PDF should be fine for most purposes, and they won't lose any quality.